So, for my next two artifacts, yet again, I will be using the same example. So they'll be in the same video. The reason why I chose one example is because the first standard that I'll be talking about is prepositions, L to A. And this is our sentence play, or it's our sentence play that we used for prepositions, but I also added a very good transition, I believe. Or I believe it to be a very good transition. And transition is at different standards. And transition is the standard of W2H. So for prepositions before this class, let's be honest, I had no clue what a preposition was, so this sentence play really helped because I like making more sophisticated sentences. So by learning these sentence plays for appositives and prepositions, I'm really happy because I'll be using them a lot more, and because I know how to do them now. For transitions, I'm gonna be honest, I knew how to kind of use them, but I didn't know how many transition phrases there really were until we did our transition words, phrases, and paper that one day. I don't remember what day that was. But yes, so now I know transitions and I definitely know prepositions. The reason why I chose the same example is because in the sentence play that I wrote down for a preposition, I also used a very good transition, and I just thought it would be nice to share that one with you because I like it. So, here we go. The circled one says, towards the chain hung by the tree, comma, one could find John pulling it. All the while holding a basket of delightful poinsettias. So all the while was the transition that I used, and I really like that just because I'm a big fan of the phrase all the while. I don't know why, I just like it. I think it makes sentences sound great. So I really like using them. And then the preposition itself is actually towards the chain hung by the tree, comma, and the preposition is right here. So the commas separate it from the actual sentence. Yeah, I just thought it's kind of a funny sentence anyways, because John was another kid in my class, and I think Ryan and I, another classmate, were making fun of him that day, kind of. In a nice way though, he got it. Is an inside joke. So, yeah, that's my example for prepositions. I will be definitely using those, and of course using transitions, because who likes a boring sentence? Not me. So for my last two standards and my last artifact, I have chosen to do W1A and W1J, or otherwise known as Introduction and Conclusion. So W1A, or Introduction, that's kind of a simple one. You know how to do it, but before this class I never really know how to achieve a 4 on it, and now I do. So to do that, you have to connect to everyone with a general opening first, and then you give background of your hook, and then you state your claim. And then for conclusion, you begin with your reworded claim, briefly synthesize or combine together all of the paragraphs, the body paragraphs, and the ideas, so everything makes sense again. You kind of are just connecting the dots for that, and then you so what. So that will connect it to everyone. To do this, you can like do it with a quote, like with an example, just something to connect it to everyone. If you give multiple so whats, you can get a 4, and that's what I did. So yeah, I'll show you my. So this is my first essay that I wrote in here, so that's what all the writing's for. I didn't exactly get a complete 4 for all the standards, unlike my other essays, but I did get mostly 4s. So to start off, the introduction, I got a 3 on because the hook wasn't quite as catchy, but I didn't really understand like how to do it, I guess, that much. But in other ones, I did have good introductions, and the 3 is a good introductions. You just haven't gone above and beyond, but it's better than what I've done before. So it states a general opening, it's inhumane companies, and then my claim is right here. Animal experimentation in the cosmetic industry should be prohibited. The hook is these companies, cosmetic leaders, claim that they are establishing the safety of their products. Yet, is it safe if it is killing animals? And that's where I got a 3 on, because I put it as a question. But I mean, there's really, it's still a good example. And I did in a positive for the hook, so that was also a good use of the positive, which is one of my other standards I used in this video. So let's go on to the my conclusion. I did get a 4 on, which was the hardest part, I thought. That I used a dash in too, which is another one of my standards. It says, in conclusion, animal experimentation in the cosmetic industry is in no way ethical or reasonable. Animal testing is cruel, unnecessary, and unreliable. The only reason it is still around is because it is good for companies' liability. Animal testing in cosmetics is prohibited in the UK, so let's make it in America as well. After all, it is illegal to force a person into doing something they do not want to do. Why treat animals' wants and needs as anything less? So let's start with the so what, because it was a pretty strong so what. It says, after all, it is illegal to force a person into doing something they do not want to do. Why treat animals' wants and needs as anything less? So that was the so what that connects it to humankind. Like, why is it even important? Like, it's not happening to us, so why should we care? And so that kind of makes them care. And then this is the first sentence is my restated claim. And it says, in conclusion, animal experimentation in the cosmetic industry is in no way ethical or reasonable. So my first claim, I believe, said animal experimentation in the cosmetic industry should be prohibited, and this kind of relates back to that in just a different way of saying it. And then I summarized all of this up. This summarizes my whole essay together. And yeah, so that's how I got a 4 in conclusion. In conclusion, American literature has not only improved my literacy skills as a whole, but has helped me to enjoy using them in my everyday life.